Good evening and welcome to the broadcast of the Enid City Commission from the council chambers in the administration building on West Garrett.
Call the meeting to order, please. You're all present except for Dr. Van Hooser, and he's absent this evening. The invocation this evening will be given by Tom Pullen with Main Street Nazarene Church, or Main Nazarene.
Yes, sir.
And the Pledge of Allegiance, Colonel J.J., would you lead us in the pledge after the invocation?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Let us pray. Our Father, we pray tonight for our council, for our mayor, for each member of the council representing the various wards of our fine city. Lord, give them direction and wisdom. Give them courage to discuss and make tough decisions, and give them strength, Lord, to lead our city to greater heights and accomplishments. And then, Father, I pray for our state. I pray for our nation, the situation with Ukraine, our international situations, Lord, throughout the world. Be with our soldiers in harm's way. Be with all of our leadership. And God bless America. I pray in Christ's name. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 4, consider approval of minutes of the regular meeting of February 20, 2014.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Mike, second by Tammy. Please cast your vote. Motion carries 6-0. Under item 5, awards, presentations, and organizational business. Item 5.1, present the pet available for adoption at the city animal shelter.
That's a talking dog, I know. Saying, Tammy,
Was that
Tammy.
was that the dog back there?
Yes, sir.
I have teenagers, I don't need puppies.
Good evening. My name is Officer Free with Enid Animal Control. With me, I have a 1 to 2 month old lab. Named her Lizzie, and as y'all can probably tell, she's a little bit of a whiner. She could be a good dog when she grows up. Thing with her is, a little bit of a story, is that she got surrendered because she couldn't be taken care of. And right now, we're trying to really find a home for her. And she also has another playmate in her pen as well. So if y'all know anybody who wants a dog, please come out to the animal shelter. Good place to adopt. We have great dogs out there. A lot of puppies coming around as well, so pass the word. If people don't know that we're there, let them know we are. And we do adopt animals because people think we don't. So thank you very much for having me tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Do you like labs, Eric?
I used to.
Item 5.2, consider appointments to the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission, the Enid Joint Recreation Triad, the Park Board, the Tree Board, and the Enid Public Transportation Authority. Eric, are you handling this?
I am, Mr. Mayor.
Good.
Commissioners, Mr. Mayor, we're taking first the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission. There are 2 vacancies, so you'll vote twice. Each of these are for a period of 3 years to be filled by a resident of the city of Enid. Now, we have 2 incumbents, Cole Ream and Don Rose, and both would like to be considered for reappointment. Now, there are other applicants here, and when I butcher your name, just bear with me. Those that may wish to speak tonight, Jonathan Bushman, are you here? Okay. Jeffrey Luke, Cole Ream. I know Don Rose is here. Wish to speak, Mr. Rose?
Mayor, Commissioners, I appreciate the opportunity to serve another term on MAPC. I take the topics we discuss very seriously and always try to give you all the best recommendations possible. you got any questions for me, be glad to answer them. If not, thank you.
Thank you.
Myra Powell. And Bruce Ingram. Again, commissioners, vote 4-2.
Sonia, take your time. We're going to move on.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, the Park Board has 2 vacancies to be filled by any interested citizen of the city. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, you're right. Enid Joint Recreational Triad, the EJRT. I always wondered what the T stood for. Actually, I knew Commissioner Jansen. I was just teasing you. It's 1 vacancy to be filled by any interested citizen of the city of Enid. Now, Mr. Randy Floyd is the incumbent, and he has 2 co-applicants Mr. Floyd would like to be considered for appointment. There is 1 vacancy to be filled. First of all, Mr. Floyd, are you here? Keller Taylor.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I have had the great honor of being in Enid a little over 2 years now. I'm looking for an opportunity to get a little more involved, and I feel like the Quality of Life initiative has really energized me, and obviously I've been a part of it with the Renaissance Project, and I'm excited to try to get involved with both the EJRT or the Park Board, wherever my resources and my skill set fits them best. So I appreciate your consideration.
Carrie Villarreal. Not here. Vote for 1 of the EJRT. Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, as I said earlier, but a bit prematurely, the Park Board has 2 vacancies to be filled by any interested citizen of the city of Enid. We have 2 incumbents, Halleck Caldwell and Molly Helm. They would like to be considered for reappointment. You have 8 applicants, and I'll offer them the opportunity to speak. Halleck Caldwell, I didn't see Hallie. I did not see Molly Helm.
Eric,
Molly
Molly asked to have her name pulled.
All right,
Yeah.
there you are.
We have a letter.
Molly is withdrawing her application then? All right, then the other applicants, I'll give them an opportunity to speak. Maggie Jackson.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm Maggie Jackson. I'm here on 2 accounts. Personally, I'm just a huge fan of the running trail. When I moved to Enid, when I got married, it was a godsend for me. It really helped me feel welcome and have a place in Enid. So just to advocate for parks is something I'm really passionate about personally. Professionally, I'm the community health educator for the Garfield County Health Department. I'm a master's in public health, and I'm a certified health education specialist. And I know that health education only goes as far as people's environment. And I know the built environment is a huge part of people's access to health. And I want to advocate for the entire community. I love what the city has done in providing free places for people to exercise, to play, to get together with their neighbors. And this is something that I just want to be a part of. I want to learn how the city works and get involved and give back in the way that it's given to me. So thanks for your consideration. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you.
Melissa Szymanski. Good, I may have mispronounced that. We know that Carrie Villarreal is not here. Molly Helm is not here. Mary McDonald.
It's here.
I would really welcome an opportunity to serve my city. I'm newly retired as a high school teacher. I just retired in May. And I've been an Enid resident for many, many, many years, but have never taken advantage of the opportunity to serve the city because as a high school teacher, I didn't have time during the day that I could attend meetings. Now, I've done some things in the evening, obviously, with some organizations that would allow me to serve as a volunteer in the evening, but as a newly retired person, I have more time to give to the city, and I'm beginning now to embrace this time. So that's why I've been so late in applying. I want to serve on the park board for two reasons. Yes, I love the trails, and yes, I'm an avid participator. And I think that the parks serve our citizens so well. I'm really excited about the things that are happening. I also want to serve on the park board because of what the parks can do for tourism, for Enid, because that's a place that people see, they see what's in the parks, and it can draw people in. And just seeing and experiencing a moment in the parks, just for people to stop with their grandkids and let them run around and see the playground equipment, can draw people back to Enid again and again. So, again, thank you for letting me speak, and I welcome this opportunity to serve my city.
Thank you.
Keller Taylor. Lyle Young.
Mayor, members of the commission, I've been in Enid, I've lived here about 12, 13 years now, and have not been involved in things as a person should, but the park, the expansion in the parks department within the city, and also the many things that I see going on, although the last proposal for the project in the eastern part of the city was not approved. I still think it's a time for you as the commission and the citizens to readdress that issue. I think it's a great opportunity. Already I'm seeing the expansion of the parks in the local neighborhood parks. We see lots of improvements going on as we speak. One thing I think is so impressive about our city is the partnerships that we have, whether it be with Vance, with Enid Public Schools, with AMBUCS, the things they're doing. I've lived in communities before where there was a turfdom and we didn't seem to have this concept of sharing facilities. And I think it would be exciting right now to be a part of the Parks Board. With my application, I left a resume. If any of you have, I'm a retired educator also, served formerly as superintendent in Stillwater and was involved in the Park Board in Stillwater for several years. And I see us having the opportunity to do a lot of the kinds of shared activities that I was a part of and appreciated so much having the opportunity to do in Stillwater that we could do here. And, I'm one who's semi-retired. I still work part-time for Northwestern in the teacher education department, but I do have time, energy, enthusiasm, some expertise I think that I could bring to the group, and I'm honored to even have a chance to apply for the position. I know you've got lots of great candidates, but thank you.
Those are all of the candidates. Sonny, do you have any results of the other ballots, earlier ballots? Okay,
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Pence, I would like to first say it is fantastic to see so many people applying for these board positions. I'm thankful for each and every applicant.
I'm also,
Great.
I'd like to applaud those who are willing to come and make themselves known to us. That speaks volumes of their commitment.
Shall we read these before we vote?
Sure.
On the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission, we have a clear-cut winner, and that is Don Rose, and we have a tie for second. Bruce Ingram and Cole Ream. So we need to vote for either Bruce or Cole Ream. Did you pass some that way? We'll go ahead and take care of this one.
I think so.
Because we have some duplications on here.
That's the type.
This should be your ballot for the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission. Vote for either Bruce Ingram or Cole Reed. So you're only voting for one?
Is she picking up the ties first?
On MAPC.
Well, Don Rose is already.
Right.
Yes.
I didn't.
Do you want to do that
She's
before
wanting to
we
know
go
what
on?
to pick up first.
'Cause
Don't
we've
pick up
got-
anything just yet.
Got the park board ones.
We are voting for the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission on ties,
That's what those are.
either Bruce Ingram or Cole Ream. Okay? I didn't think that. There you go.
There's that.
Only vote for one. Sonia?
And to return to the park board of ballot, remember that there are now 7 vice 8 applicants. You will pick 2 for the park board.
I guess we abandoned the whole online voting thing. That
Never
just-
worked well anyway.
We couldn't make,
I'm glad.
Good guess.
Yeah.
That was labor intensive.
Mayor Commissioners, the tree board is the next board of which we need to
I do not
fill.
have the, I don't have that.
Because so we're not voting.
I think
Well,
certainly-
I'll just finish reading this and maybe it'll become self-explanatory. There are 2 vacancies to be filled by any interested citizen of the city of Enid, one of which will fill an unexpired term to March 1st, 2016. Ms. Nancy Moore, the incumbent, does not wish to be considered. Ms. Carolyn McLemore and Melissa Szymanski are the only applicants for their board. Therefore, unless you vote to oppose their appointments, they're your 2 tree board members.
You have a motion?
Accept their acclamation?
Second?
A motion by Mike, a second by Ron, to accept Carolyn McLemore by acclamation.
And Melissa Szymanski.
And, okay, I'm sorry. Is that your motion?
So a clear.
Further discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion carries 6-0. We have 2 commissions that have been filled. First, the Enid Joint Recreation Triad. The new member will be Keller Taylor. Congratulations, Keller. And for the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission, the new member will be Cole Ream. I guess those are all together.
Now, the last entity in which you'll be voting, Commissioners, is the EPTA, or the Enid Public Transportation Authority. 1 vacancy by any interested citizen of the city of Enid. Mr. Bill Stitchworth is the incumbent, and he'd like to be considered for reappointment. You have 4 applicants. Ms. Pamela Ballard, are you here? Thought I recognized you, Pam.
Mayor and Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity. I personally know the value of having a public transportation system and its value. I have epilepsy and have at times needed a public transportation system. And I realize I'm not the stereotype, what people consider the stereotype user for a public transportation user. But I also have more than 30 years experience with budgets and financial systems and realize the very delicate balance between ridership and fares and city budgets as well. And I think I would be able to use that in helping that, because I do work with most all of our social service agencies and realize the need that we have between our citizenship and the city's budget, and would just appreciate your consideration. So thank you very much.
Maggie Jackson.
No, I've already spoken, but just wanted to recognize James and Mark have been an integral part of our Enid Health Planning Committee and the MAP Coalition. I just appreciate their input and contribution to public health. So I would just like to offer a public health perspective to the transit. So thanks for your consideration.
Lori D. King. And Mr. Stitchworth is not here. Vote for 1 vacancy.
I might need it back. That's usually what happens. I'll need it back.
The Park Board representative will be Maggie Jackson and Mary McDonald. Congratulations.
Mayor Commissioners, item 5.3 is, we have to explain this one to you. Vacancy exists on the Aviation Advisory Board, and it is open to any interested citizen of the city of Enid. And the municipal code requires that this appointment shall be made by the city manager and approved by the mayor and board of commissioners. Now, previously, as you know, we have voted on this appointment, but the keen eye of our extraordinary city clerk brings to my attention that the vacancy is ready to be filled by the city manager and approved by the board. I have selected Mr. John Martin to fill this vacancy. There is one vacancy on the board.
I would move we approve the appointment of John Martin.
Second.
Motion by Ben and second by Mike. Further discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion carries 5-1. The representative for the Enid Public Transportation, can't say that word, Enid Public Transportation Authority will be Pam Ballard. Congratulations. Item 6, hearings. There are none. Item 7, community development. There are none. Item 8, under administration. Are you through wadding that paper?
I confuse myself with open paper.
Mary McDonald would have you to be quiet. Oh, he's up here rattling papers, teacher. Item 8, administration. Item 8.1, consider awarding a contract to Earth Smart Construction, Inc., Catoosa, Oklahoma, for the construction of the Garland North Detention Facility, project number F-0406F, and authorize the mayor to execute all contract documents after review by the city attorney. Robert?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager. This is an item to award a contract for construction of the four-name detention facility, Garland North Detention Facility. We did receive actually 5 bids on this project, and Earth Smart Construction out of Catoosa has recommended it's probably responsive low bid. I have a drawing here that shows the location of the site, which is north of Randolph and just east of Garland, and it is called the Garland North Detention Facility. It is owned by the City of Enid, and there have been some improvements on that for detention, but this project, as outlined here, and this one shows the outline owned by the property. The next slide shows the improvements that are to be made, and the improvements would consist of completing the construction of a berm around the detention facility, that is shown in the map, construction of a discharge structure to control the flow, slow the water down as it goes out of the facility, and the pipe system over across Garland to a drainage system, and improve the drainage system along Garland Road to the south to bring the flow back into its natural course. As said, we received 5 bids with Earth Smart Construction providing the low responsive bid. We do recommend award of the base bid and alternate 2, and alternate 2 included the construction of the paved driveway approach for this project. Be happy to answer any questions.
Robert, what's the kidney shape? Is that a...
This is what's shown in the center is what's called a pond. It's a wet pond. For this system to work and get the grades to flow across, there will be an area of the center that will be a wet facility. There will be a small pond in this detention facility. It is primarily dry, but we'll have a wet pond or an over-excavated section in the center to provide for adequate flow capacities at low flow. Now, this contract provides for the berm, the discharge structures, and the channel as talked about. That pond will not be built under this contract. That will, because that'd probably be a future contract, to move that excess dirt out of the facility.
Mayor and Commissioners, long before any of you came on in your personal capacity, this issue was discussed and was disregarded or was not funded in previous years. Now that it's being funded, I want to alert you to the other elements that were considered previously that I think still have bearing. One, this would make an excellent West Side dog park. Think of this as Crossland Park West. It's similar in many regards with the exception of the playing fields. We don't propose those on there. We don't propose a park. But you could have we envisioned a fishing park and a dog park, and you have plenty of room to do that, neither of which will be very expensive. So if you approve this, we'll be bringing you some options back during the budget period to consider.
Good, great. I mean, really, for a dog park, it just wouldn't take a whole lot to get that. But in the recommendation, you're asking for alternate 2, which is just paved access drive. So that's not going around. That is just.
Correct. That is for the paved access drive and the pipe system under Ed Garland shown on the lower left corner. The alternate 1 was to gravel the drive around the berm, provide all-weather access. But based on the bids that received, we think we should consider that with other forces, other methods. We wouldn't recommend awarding that type option at this time.
Is that similar to the gravel on the berm south of Walmart?
That'd be correct. Yes, sir.
Is that gravel?
Yes, I believe that is at the gravel surface on it. Yes, sir. Has an all-weather access on the berm south of Walmart. That's Garland South Detention. Yes, sir.
So we're going with a paved access drive?
Well, I'd recommend alternate 2 to get the paved access so we can get a good, clear, solid access when we get into the site so we don't pull mud back onto the roadway. Basically, we get a good drive. And I think we'll come back in next year's budget and look for a more appropriate way to provide a all-weather access on the.
How far will this paved access drive come into the property?
Just to the right. It comes in about 25 feet. Just gets a pave approach off of the paved surface, and then comes in about 25 feet into the property to give us a paved surface. And the reason we generally do that is we have a standard. You have driveways on gravel road, can we drive gravel, but driveways on paved roads, the standard is to maintain a paved approach so we can control excess material getting onto the arterial street.
That's going to cost, if I'm adding correctly, around $30,000?
That's correct. That does include the 18-inch storm drain that would be put in the under the driveway, but that's the cost of the concrete, the grading, and the pipes. Yes, sir.
Really quite a bargain in terms of $30,000 and the amount of concrete going on. Clearly, it's reflective of the bid and the main contract piece.
And if we were to look down the road at, say, a dog park or something like that, would we have, just on the north side, would there be parking? Is that?
The original plan included access along the north along Grizzly Lane, which is the northern boundary of this property, just about where Roberts Pointer is there. And then the location of the dog park could be behind and close to that neighborhood in Grizzly Lane there, and also to the folks along Wellington. The access off of Garland was not considered, well, you know, we'll provide you those options. But the previous proposals were to access off Grizzly or Wellington. And we have an access right there where Robert's pointing at.
Right, off of Wellington, there is a road that comes right back to the site, and that would probably be an ideal place. Put in some parking, make access.
What are we getting for the base bid? What are they doing for that?
Okay. Base bid includes the moving the excavation to construct the berm, complete the berm around the facility, to build the concrete discharge structure at the left side, and here, and with the berm and the concrete overflow structure, emergency overflow structure, to place the pipe system, it's 42-inch pipe, under that facility, under Garland, over to carry the flow to the west side of Garland, improve the channel from that site south about 600 feet to the Randolph and Garland intersection where it goes back to its natural course. Provide this drive approach here. basically construct a facility, those major construction facilities, where it will actually contain, hold water, and control the discharge structure, and to seed and sod the area back.
How long is that timeline on that?
This contractor provided a 180-day contract.
How big is the discharge pipe again?
It's a 42-inch.
Now, when you say improve the channel on the west side of Garland, what do you mean, Robert?
We've acquired right-of-way, recently we acquired right-of-way from the property owner there. It's a flat bottom channel, we'll actually widen it to provide the actual capacity down the channel. There is a...
Is that going to be a pipe or an open ditch?
It'd be an open channel. It'd be an open channel that's basically matches what's along Garland now.
An earthen floor.
Yes, an earthen floor. Alternate, I think alternate number 4 provides for paving that channel, and we certainly would come back in next year's budget, reappropriate funds, consider paving that channel.
Those options remain open in the future?
Yes, if we can come back and appropriate funds and still under contract, then we can change order those options. Yes, sir.
That can be controlled as far as not washing that ditch out, as far as the amount that comes out of there?
It'll be controlled where it comes out of the discharge structure, it'll be rip-wrapped and provides the erosion protection there. It will carry the water quite adequately. I think at some time in the future, as we develop that roadway, we will want to certainly pave this channel or enclose it.
Okay. Tell us what that term you used means.
Dirt floor. It'll just be a dirt ditch. Won't be paved, won't have any shouldering on it.
Is there enough slope
That's what will be formed with this widening and shaping of the ditch.
Mayor, I'll make a motion, we approve the base bid and alternate 2 and award this contract to Earthsmart Construction.
I'll second.
Motion by Ron, second by Mike. Further discussion? Have all that information. Please cast your vote. Motion carries 6-0. Item 8.2, consider awarding a contract to SL Madison LLC, Crescent, Oklahoma, for the construction of Garland Tributary Structure and Stormwater Management, project number F-1116C, and authorize the mayor to execute all contract documents after review by the city attorney. Robert?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager. This is a similar project, but it's actually about 1.5 miles to the north and a little to the east. And we have a location map here that shows the site is actually just south of the recently constructed Prairie View School. And it has been under construction by public work forces who have moved most of the soil and the dirt out of that site and have excavated it. What this contract would provide, I'm going to go to the next slide. This is that same general drainage area you saw in the previous slide. The earthwork has been done by Public Works. So this contract would provide for constructing a 2-cell 8x3 box culvert at the discharge structure on the east side of the site, and build the berm that would, at that site, we excavate the rest of the area, but we would build berm along the east side over that structure, build the emergency overflow structure, which is concrete structure with riprap. There's a paved flume discharging on the east side of that structure across the gas line and protecting it into the natural channel or the improved channel that exists at the location, and a paved channel across the detention site connecting to existing box culverts at Willow Road. And it would sod along the channels and the berms and seed the entire site. The monthly low bid is from LS Madison at $325,767.10 and recommended for award.
The water goes from the northwest to southeast?
That's correct. That's where it flows now, and this would not change that course. It just actually would excavate and provide an area to store that water and put the control structure so we slow it down and use the excavated area as a place to detain that water in that area instead of detaining it instead of letting it flow down outside the easement downstream.
One advantage of this structure, Commissioners, Mayor, is that as the expected and highly anticipated development of the land around Prairie View School commences, our capital recovery ordinance allows us to recoup some of the costs of the structure from the subsequent developers.
I move we approve.
Did the
Second.
All right.
Motion by Ben, a second by Ron. We have comments, Mike?
Yeah, did, when the school put their facility in, do they have?
They have on-site detention for
Got
those.
on-site decision. Is
Now-
that mainly just for the non,
Impermeable surface?
yes?
That's right. It's the impermeable surface of the concrete they lay down every facility, whether it be the roof or the parking lot, determine what kind of facility it is, concrete, gravel, whatever, has a factor in which we determine on-site detention. Now, you could argue that had we had this in place, they wouldn't have had to do that on-site detention, but that wasn't the case. Right. In fact, we had to accelerate the funding of this property in order to do this change. Now, in the future, the detention capability will reflect that entire half section, not just the parking lot of the school.
But the facility, the detention capability they have is only adequate for their impermeable surface and not designed to catch
correct.
downflow.
That's correct.
From up, okay.
Exactly.
Just making that clear.
And on-site detention usually provides protection from the site to get to the channel, but they're small. They're so small that they provide basically little to no protection significantly downstream. That has to be done for regional facilities such as this.
We own, how many acres total in this parcel, Robert? 105?
We own about, I think about 90 acres on this. This is about 25, and I think we've got the south section, which is probably 90 to 100 acres, yes.
So we have 45 odd acres left here, so we have another 45 acres or so that are left for development of whatever the commission desires. And as you well know, there's been interest in high-density housing in this area. This detention facility will also address the needs of whatever development is made south.
Which will be west of this facility?
West, or south and then west.
Okay.
This is the area detention, which is about 30 acres, and we also own the property. We own all the property south of this line down to the house section, down south there, which is, I think actually this is be 160 acres, and that's 40 some odd acres, so I think you're right at 110. I think you actually are correct.
We own the southeast, I'm sorry, the northwest.
No, Mr. Vance, or Mr. Craig. Eldon Craig kept that portion, but as you can see, we designed it so that we could access our property from Garland or Willow.
Correct.
There will be a future detention facility to the south, the Chestnut West Detention Facility. Thank you. Any other questions?
Your motion was the same as the wording for 8.2?
As written.
As written. And who made the second?
Ron.
Did you make the motion?
Yep.
Any further comments, discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Item 8.3, consider a resolution amending the 2013-2014 Capital Improvement Fund budget by appropriating additional funds in the amount of $450,785.97 to increase the 2013-2014 appropriated amounts for the Capital Improvement Department.
Mayor, Commissioners, this item is for two separate items. One is for the change order number 11 with Key Construction on the failure to perform for Summit where they filled in on that, and the remaining is to bury the overhead lines from OG&E downtown and the amount of $305,000.
Move we approve.
Second.
Motion by Ben, second by Ron. Any further discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion carries 6-0. Item 9, consent items.
Make a motion to approve the consent items.
Second.
Motion by Mike, second by Tammy. Further discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion carries 6-0. We'll move to item 10. We'll now recess to convene as the Enid Municipal Authority. All the trustees of the Enid Municipal Authority regular meeting are present, except for David Van Hooser, who is absent. Item 12, the Enid Municipal Authority regular meeting. Item 12.1, consider a resolution increasing the 2013-2014 fiscal financial plan for the Enid Municipal Authority in the amount of $450,785.97.
Move to approve.
Motion by Ben.
Second.
Second by Mike. Further discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion carries 6-0. Item 12.2, approval of claims in the amount of $1,342,322.76.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mike.
Second.
Second by Ben. Further discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion carries 6-0. Item 13, we will now adjourn to convene as the Enid Economic Development Authority. All the trustees of the Enid Economic Development Authority are present except for David Van Hooser, who is absent this evening. Item 15 is the Enid Economic Development Authority regular meeting. Item 15.1, approval of claims in the amount of $6,805.
Make a motion to approve that.
Motion by Mike.
Second.
Second by Tammy. Please cast your vote.
Sure, not missing a couple of zeros or anything.
I wondered about that. Motion carries 6-0. That'll come later, Mike. Item 16, we will now adjourn to reconvene as the Enid City Commission under public discussion. There are none. Item 18, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will make that motion.
Motion by Mike.
Second.
Second by Ben. Please cast your vote. Motion carries 6-0. We are adjourned.
Thank you for joining us for the Enid City Commission meeting. If you have any questions or comments, visit our website at enid.org.